The pregnant widow found a baby in the forest, but it called her by name. This may sound unbelievable, but every chilling detail I'm about to share truly happened to me in Riverbend, Oregon, during the summer of 2018. As I wandered through the thick underbrush, searching for solace amidst my grief, shadows flickered through the trees, and I could hear my late husband's voice calling to me from somewhere deep within the woods, layered with the cries of a child that felt disturbingly familiar. The air was rich with the scent of damp earth and the sweet aroma of wildflowers that shouldn't have been blooming yet. An inexplicable chill enveloped me as small, cold hands brushed against my arm, leaving an icy trail on my skin. The deeper I ventured into the forest's heart, a metallic taste crept into my mouth, heavy with fear of what I might find. I was alone and desperate, carrying the weight of my unborn child while trying to unravel the mystery hidden within these ancient trees. I once cherished these woods, seeing them as a peaceful refuge away from chaos. But not today. The vibrant greens melded into foreboding shades of gray under the gathering clouds, as if nature itself mourned alongside me. My heart pounded, urging me to turn back. Yet the shadows beckoned me closer, interweaving nostalgia and sorrow, complicating my emotions into a tangled web. In that stillness, soft whispers and rustling leaves formed a chorus that consoled my pain. Before I tell you what happened next, subscribe to hear the full tale that changed everything I thought I knew. With trembling hands, I pressed on, each step more deliberate and fearful than the last. I sensed presences lurking nearby, as if the trees were watching me while the whispers grew colder, morphing into a language of dread that gripped my heart. My instincts howled for me to retreat, but the forest's pull was too strong. I brushed past a curtain of vines and stumbled into an unexpected clearing. There, nestled amidst the brush, was a baby, wrapped in leaves and moss, lying quietly as if waiting for me. Confusion washed over me as a gust of wind swept past, pulling my focus into the depths of the baby's ancient, haunting gaze. "What do you want from me?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper suffocated by the heavy air. The metallic taste intensified as the figure breathed softly, almost sharing a secret meant to both illuminate and condemn. "Please, tell me," I begged, heart racing. Suddenly, memories surged forth, stories my mother told about the woods and spirits yearning for connection. Tales that once seemed fanciful. If you've ever sensed a presence in an empty room, you understand the chill that ran down my spine that day. As I lifted the baby into my arms, whispers encircled us, urgent and beckoning. The cries mixed with my late husband's voice. It was then that I found the courage to speak from my heart, asking with trembling urgency, "Is it you, asking me to remember?" The air shifted, and for a brief moment, I felt a warmth radiate from the baby, contrasting sharply against the chill of the forest. But soon, shadows converged again, angry and frantic. The trees swayed ominously, an overwhelming dread enveloped me. What would you have done if unexplainable markings appeared on your child's body? I wrestled with my thoughts as dark history collided with a reality I wished to escape. I felt unprepared for the danger closing in, and as the shadows thickened, I realized that whatever was drawn to us intended either comfort or chaos. In a desperate attempt to reach out to the whispered thoughts surrounding me, I sought an alliance with the forest's presence. "What do you truly need from us?" I cried, hoping to bridge our worlds. At that moment, clarity emerged. This baby was not just a lost soul, but perhaps a profound messenger, a truth both cruel and beautiful. Hit the like button if you believe the supernatural can communicate rather than just haunt. Every instinct urged me to run, but an equal desire to understand held me firm. Cradling the baby close, I felt a distorted sense of time. My heart echoed loudly in the oppressive silence. Just as the shadows began to pull away, uncertainty cloaked me once more, pressing down like the thickening fog. The woods were alive, echoing with the voiceless stories of the forgotten. Each rustle carried whispers of souls longing to be remembered, binding us in a shared yearning for understanding. As I stood there, it became clear that this encounter was not just about grief, but about healing through revelation, a chance to connect with something larger than myself. The urgency to carry my child with love and honor ignited my spirit. Embracing this moment of profound connection enveloped me, inviting me to explore what it meant to be alive amid shadows. In that instant, the forest shifted from a looming threat to a sanctuary, a space where lost souls sought to bridge the gap between life and death. I took a deep breath, knowing that what lay ahead would be an extraordinary journey into the heart of both fear and hope, a path towards understanding the power of the names and the stories that connect us all. As I embraced the baby, the whispers around us transformed into a swirling symphony of urgency. Each cry melded with the rustling leaves above, an echo of a relationship that transcended time. Shadows danced closer, and I could feel the temperature drop, a biting chill that snaked down my spine. The atmosphere thickened with anticipation, intertwining my heartbeat with the pulse of the earth beneath me. "Is someone there?" I dared to call out into the darkness, my voice trembling as it faded into the forest's depths. I could sense watchful eyes, unseen yet all around me, evaluating my every move. Fear gripped me, a familiar companion that pressed against my chest like a heavy weight. Yet, there was something deeper at play, an instinct urging me to confront whatever lay hidden in the shadows. "My child," I whispered, glancing down at the baby cradled in my arms, its gaze unwavering. There was an undeniable connection, a thread pulling between us that seemed to vibrate with every rustle of the leaves. I felt it. They needed me just as much as I needed them. My breath caught as the thought coursed through me. Perhaps this baby was linked to the very stories I longed to uncover. "If you're a spirit, show me a sign," I said, my voice steadfast despite the fear gnawing at my insides. The wind hissed softly through the trees, almost as if mocking my brave facade. In that moment, the shadows quivered, oscillating between the familiar warmth of life and the coldness of something otherworldly. The air swirled with palpable energy, twisting around me like a warm embrace. It was brief, but for one heart-stopping moment, the shadows contorted into visible forms, specters of my past, faces of those I had lost, their eager eyes glistening with longing. I could barely breathe as I instinctively stepped back, the ennui of sorrow lapping at my ankles. What would they want from me? What truths were they eager to unveil? The baby cooed softly, almost as if urging me onward. I lifted my chin, my resolve hardening with each pulse of anticipation thrumming through my veins. These shades were not here to hurt. They appeared to guide me, to deliver a message that remained trapped between worlds. "Help us remember," I whispered, feeling a warmth radiate from the child in my arms. Suddenly, a shrill cry erupted from the depths of the forest, piercing through the silence like a dagger. The sound was desperate and raw, tinged with loss. My heart jerked violently. "What was that?" I gasped, my instincts screaming. I tightened my grip on the baby, the soft weight becoming my anchor amidst the chaos surrounding me. Do they seek vengeance? Or do they just want to be heard? I pondered, my mind racing. I noticed flashes of movement within the thick brush, mere glimpses of figures that seemed to dart just beyond the periphery of my vision. Whatever compelled me deeper into the woods, it was relentless, an unseen force drawing me toward the heart of the mystery. I hesitated, the fear of the unknown clawing at my courage. But a voice whispered in my mind, a gentle nudge reminding me of my purpose. Finding peace for my family, understanding what the shadows in the woods were trying to convey. My grip tightened on the baby, an urgent reminder of what was at stake. "Will you protect us?" I breathed, looking into the baby's eyes, searching for answers reflected in their depths. As if in response, the wind howled around me, pulling away the thick shroud of twilight. The forest danced for me, leaves whispering encouragement. Shadows flitted in and out of view, forming a curious but benign circle around us. Feeling emboldened, I stepped forward, walking deeper into the web of secrets. Each footfall brought me face to face with the spirits, and the cries of anguish transformed into whispers of solace. No longer mere echoes, the shadows conveyed empathy and a longing that resonated profoundly within me. "If you're looking for solace, I will listen," I pledged, my heart opening to the messages hanging in the air. "I am here to remember, to understand." The baby in my arms squirmed lightly as if in agreement. The air shimmered with energy that felt almost liberating. The atmosphere shifted, pulsating with newfound intensity. The cries intermingled with names spoken softly by unseen lips. My own family history came crashing into the forefront of my consciousness, and I could almost recognize the names being called. Old wounds, long buried, began to resurface. "Was this the history that connected us all?" I asked, my voice steady despite the tumult within. "Are these lost souls the keepers of our lineage, the guardians of my past?" Suddenly, a series of bright lights flickered in the distance, illuminating the dark underbrush. A path formed, glowing softly against the chaos that surrounded me. The forces of nature began to converge, and the weight of despair transformed into an exhilarating flood of hope. I began walking toward the lights, confidence blossoming within me with each step. "I will follow you," I murmured, my resolve blooming as the energy surrounded me. The whispers grew louder, a chorus of encouragement vibrating around us. This was not just a venture into the unknown. It was an invitation to embrace my legacy, to forge a new path infused with love and remembrance. As I crossed the threshold into the illuminated path, the weight of the past melded seamlessly with the hope of the future. Unknown dangers lay ahead. Still, the truth now illuminated my path, igniting a fire deep within my spirit that proclaimed I would face whatever came next. And for the first time, the shadows felt less suffocating, more like silent companions on this unexpected journey. As I walked further down the glowing path, the forest around me began to pulse with life. The air crackled with electric energy, the whispers entangling in harmonious melody, reassuring me with their cadence. Each step felt like a heartbeat, syncing with the rhythm of the earth beneath my feet. The baby nestled in my arms wriggled slightly, almost as if they, too, felt the significance of this moment, our souls intertwining in this otherworldly dance. "Where are you leading me?" I asked softly, my voice barely breaking through the layers of sound drifting through the trees. I half expected a response, feeling the forest would have some ancient wisdom to offer me. The soft brush of leaves against my cheek felt like an answer, a whisper of ancient histories curling around me in delicate tendrils. Suddenly, a familiar face materialized further down the path, my grandmother, radiating warmth and strength. "Don't fear, my dear," she said, her voice melodic and calming. The memories of her gentle laughter and loving embrace flooded my mind. "We've been waiting for you. The stories you seek reside within these woods, entwined with our family history." "Grandma," I exclaimed, relief and disbelief mixing within me. "But why am I here?" Her eyes sparkled with recognition, inviting me deeper into the fold of our past. "You've been chosen to embrace our legacy," she replied, her hand gesturing toward the vibrant forest surrounding us. Each tree, each whisper a guardian of family tales that needed to be remembered. It's time to share those stories, to bring the light back into the shadows. "What do you mean? What about the whispers and shadows?" I asked anxiously, glancing around at the flickering forms forming and dissolving in the luminosity. "They are not your enemies. They are guardians, spirits asking for acknowledgement," she explained. "Many lost their way, their stories buried alongside their souls. You must help them find peace through remembrance." A shiver of urgency surged through me. I glanced down at the baby, feeling a surge of determination. "I will honor our stories," I promised. The weight of my family's history settling into my bones. The light around me seemed to brighten as if approving my oath. As I continued down the radiant path, colors swirled around me and my senses heightened. The melodies of nature harmonized, each note weaving together a tapestry of forgotten truths. I focused on my grandmother's presence, sensing her guidance amplifying within me, pushing me forward. "Listen to their stories," she said softly, her voice weaving through the golden light that enveloped us. "They will guide you." Just then, a flurry of shadows danced before me, materializing into the forms of ancestors long gone. Each face was a story waiting to be told, their expressions both longing and hopeful. "Who are you?" I whispered, close enough now to feel their presence brushing against my skin. They began to murmur amongst themselves, their whispers threaded with urgency, intertwined with the voices of my grandmother. "We are the keepers of your legacy," a voice floated to me, ethereal and soothing. "Each of us holds a piece of your history, a truth that will help you heal." With growing realization, I understood why I was here, to turn my grief into something greater. "Is this why the shadows have been restless?" I asked, my heart pounding. "They need me to remember?" "Yes," the shadows whispered in unison. "Every name you call forth will free us from our chains, allowing the stories to flow once more." Summoning my courage, I stepped closer, locking eyes with a shadow who bore a striking resemblance to my father. "Dad?" I breathed, astonished. "Is that you?" His face softened. "It's me. Your journey has just begun. Speak our names, share our stories. The pain that has lingered unspoken will be lifted when you give it voice." As I took a deep breath, I felt the weight of each name, each untold tale urging to break through. "What do I need to do?" I asked, my voice steadier now. "Remember us. Acknowledge our existence," my father replied, each word resonating deep within my core. "Only then will we find peace." "I promise," I vowed, even as the enormity of my task settled around me like a cloak. The path ahead shimmered, and a growing warmth enveloped my heart. I felt their collective energy coalesce around me, infusing me with strength. The shadows transformed, brightening and dimming in a rhythm that echoed my heartbeat. "Let me help you remember," I whispered, bowing my head in reverence. "I will share your stories, however daunting." The forest erupted in a symphony of encouragement, the whispers growing louder, swirling around me. "You are not alone. We are with you," they chorused, urging me deeper into the embrace of the woods. As the path illuminated, I realized this was only the beginning of my journey. I was ready to embrace my lineage, to reclaim the stories of my ancestors, weaving their truths into the fabric of my life. This legacy would no longer be lost to shadows. It would come alive in remembrance, bringing solace long denied. In that moment, as the light blazed brilliantly ahead of me, I felt an unbreakable connection to those who had come before, a reminder that I was part of something far greater, a tapestry of lives intertwined, finding strength through the act of remembering. I would uncover their truths and find my own healing in the weave of their histories. The path glowed even brighter now, illuminating details that had previously gone unnoticed. The intricate patterns stitched into the bark of the trees, the twinkling of dew on the grass, and the shimmering mist curling through the air. It felt like the forest itself was alive, breathing with the weight of its history, eager to share its secrets. "Keep walking," the voices urged, an inviting chorus enveloping me like a warm hug. The scent of pine and earth filled my lungs, grounding me as I ventured forward. I could feel my ancestors surrounding me, their presence both reassuring and powerful. I had stepped into a sacred space, one that transcended the boundaries of life and death. As I walked, the faces of my past flickered in and out of my mind. My parents, grandparents, and even distant relatives I had never met. but whose stories were woven seamlessly into the fabric of my existence. "Speak our names," they whispered, urging me to call forth the spirits tied to my lineage. "John," I called, the name of my grandfather escaping my lips like a prayer. "I remember you. Your laughter filled our home with joy." A fleeting rush of wind whispered through the branches above, seeming to affirm my words. "I remember you," I continued, clutching the baby closer. "Evelyn, my grandmother, the stories you shared by the fire. I can still see the light dancing in your eyes." The atmosphere pulsed with energy, vibrant and alive in response to my remembrance. The shadows danced and twisted, picking up speed, swirling around me like a tempest. I felt the baby's energy intertwining with theirs, their gentle cooing now joining in on the symphony of names. What was once a vague essence transformed into distinct characters, each with a story begging to be told. As I took a deep breath, I recalled a family gathering that had taken place just weeks before my husband's death. We'd all shared laughter, clinking glasses, and swapping stories until the night faded into the quiet embrace of morning light. "James, I remember your smile. Even when things were tough, you always found a way to bring laughter." The shadows writhed and glowed as I invoked another name, sending waves of warmth rushing through me. "Anna," I said softly, recalling my great-aunt's kindness. "You showed me love and compassion. You shared advice that shaped my understanding of the world." The air thickened with emotion. My great-aunt's form flickered into view briefly, luminescent and vivid. "You are releasing us. Remembering is a bridge." Her voice resonated, crystalline and gentle, as she smiled serenely. I could feel the connection to my own heart swell, a profound understanding igniting deep within me. Sensing my growing confidence, the shadows clustered closer, unveiling memories captured in their swirling depths. "Yes, keep going. Share our stories," they whispered, intermingling their energy with mine. I paused, overwhelmed yet elated. There were so many names, so many stories I'd heard but never fully embraced. I felt a call from the core of my being, urging me to dig deeper into my family's history. "Joseph," I murmured, invoking the name of my uncle, who had fought bravely in the war. "I remember your courage, your laughter echoing across our reunions." A gust of wind rolled over me, almost as if he were standing right beside me, proud and encouraging. Emboldened, I pressed on, rekindling memories lost in the sediment of time. "Margaret, my childhood friend who moved away but always wrote me letters. You taught me the value of connection." The shadows playfully swirled, embracing the warmth of my fond recollections, and I could feel her spirit nodding, embracing me even from afar. Milestones of my life sketched pages across the landscape of my mind. Each name, each remembrance became a thread weaving through time, and as I began to weave their stories together, the shadows shimmered, becoming brighter and more defined. "Rachel," I gasped, bringing forth the memory of my sister, with her unyielding spirit and laughter that could light up the darkest day. "Whenever I felt lost, your strength guided me back." With every echo of a name, the atmosphere surged with warmth, spilling over like ripples on a tranquil pond. Around me, the shadows shifted in complexity, revealing flashes of laughter and tears, moments etched into the very spirit of the woods. The baby cooed softly, a living testament to this lineage of stories, their life connected to those who had come before. "Why do you long for remembrance?" I asked, feeling the ambiance pulse with anticipation. "To heal through connection," they whispered back, a mantra resonating through the clearing. "The bonds forged in life transcend even death, and you have the ability to keep us alive, to honor those who paved the way." A weight lifted from my chest, the burden of grief mingling with the intoxicating fragrance of hope. I stepped forward, weaving through that sacred space, inching closer to the heart of the forest, a place where light and shadow coalesced into a dazzling display of existence. Together, we can forge a new beginning, I said aloud, feeling my voice grow stronger. I will honor you all, gather your tales, and pass them on so that you may always be cherished. The shadows erupted into joyous dances around me, their forms weaving together in a breathtaking display of harmony. The wisdom of my ancestors flowed through me, a solid cord binding our stories across generations. A kaleidoscope of time echoed throughout the woods, revealing a radiant tapestry that had long awaited my embrace. As I slowed my pace, the forest around me glowed brighter, illuminating roots and rocks, revealing places rich with history. The shadows now radiated warmth and love, a reminder that I was not only a traveler through my family history, but a guardian of their legacies. "Thank you for reminding me," I whispered, tears of gratitude spilling from my eyes. "I promise to share your stories to ensure the light of our memories shines through the darkness." In that promise, I felt a resurgence of strength and purpose. With each name told and each heart acknowledged, I knew that together we would carve a future where love, remembrance, and connection would reign. A future that would echo with the laughter and love of those who had come before. This journey was not an end. It was a beautiful beginning, and I was ready to embrace it fully, heart and soul. The forest thrummed with the energy of my ancestors, every shadow alive with purpose, echoing through the foliage like a gentle heartbeat. Each step I took felt as though I was walking through a sacred cathedral fashioned by the very earth. The roots of the trees twisted elegantly, forming intricate patterns atop the soil, while the air buzzed softly, vibrating with whispers of wisdom and encouragement. Venturing further, I let my thoughts settle into the depths of my family history, calling upon the names that flowed within me like a river. "Eleanor," I spoke, conjuring the spirit of my great aunt, a beacon of resilience and strength. The shadows fluttered, coalescing into a vibrant representation of her tenacity, an embodiment of our shared heritage. "I seek your guidance," I murmured, longing for her insight. "What do you wish for me to learn?" The temperature shifted, and a breeze swirled through the branches, illuminating the air. Eleanor's spirit emerged, glowing softly, her presence filled with warmth and clarity. "Learn the power of connection," she said, her voice comforting yet resolute. "Though we are gone, the threads of love we wove remain tied around you." With each word, I felt a weight lift from my heart, the burdens of grief dissolving around me. "Share our stories," she implored, her voice intertwining with the rustling leaves. "Language forms the bridge between generations. Honor our experiences with your voice." "I promise," I vowed, the energy of her spirit infusing me with determination. I took a deep breath, invigorated by her presence, and moved deeper into the heart of the forest. Soon after, another name echoed in my mind: Margaret. My great-aunt's spirit had filled our lives with laughter and warmth. "Margaret," I called, inviting her essence into this sacred space. The mist stirred, forming her familiar figure, shimmering with kindness. "Ah, my dear," she exclaimed, her voice a soothing melody. "How lovely it is to see you again. Remember, love binds us through laughter and tears." Joy surged within me as memories flooded my mind. Family gatherings, joyful celebrations, and her famous pie wafting through our home. "Your joy brought us together," I replied, smiling. "What do you want me to know?" Margaret stepped forward, her presence ethereal and radiant. "Life is ephemeral, and cherished moments slip through our fingers like grains of sand," she imparted, her wisdom glimmering in her eyes. "Treasure the connections you've made, and share those stories with the next generations. We live on through your memories." Her words struck a deep chord, making it clear that preserving not just events, but the essence of our family was vital. I will honor your joy, I promised, enveloped by her spirit, grateful for the wisdom she offered. As I thanked Margaret, the shadows danced, bursting into vibrant colors that twirled around me. The air thrummed with laughter, and suddenly I felt another name reach out to me. Samuel. My great-uncle, known for instilling values, had a presence of strength that I longed to feel again. Samuel, I called, calling forth his spirit. In an instant, Samuel stood before me, clear and confident. Our stories are our legacy, he said, his voice pouring warmth into the air. You carry these lessons within you. Don't shy away from sharing your own trials alongside our victories. I won't, I declared, feeling empowered by the truth of his words. I will share the struggles and the light. With every name I called, vivid images flickered through the air, filling the space with brilliant light. I saw my ancestors inspiring me, urging me forward, reminders that I carried not just my own story, but theirs as well. Driven by purpose, I stepped forward, intent on delving deeper into my lineage. The luminous glow intensified, leading me to a gathering of shadows filled with life. Distant cousins and long-forgotten relatives beckoned me closer, urging me to listen. Tell us, one figure murmured, their voice rich with intergenerational wisdom. Seek us out. We are here to remind you of the lives we've lived. The shadows swirled, revealing faces who had left echoes in the tapestry of our shared history. Each thread of our family history tells of love and heartache, triumph and despair, I said, gathering my breath. Together, these tales shape who I am. As I stepped closer, the air filled with the scent of incense, something familiar that brought memories to the forefront of my mind. I recalled family rituals, Thanksgivings, weddings, shared moments of darkness and light, each gathering forming the roots of our collective identity. I will honor you, I promised solemnly, deepening my connection. Your stories will live in my heart and the hearts of those who hear them. Suddenly, a warm breeze cascaded through, carrying the scent of soil and wildflowers, grounding me as I drew strength from my family's legacy. I felt connected to the very earth beneath my feet, the pulse of life merging my story with those who had walked before. Then a brilliant light caught my attention, and I faced it, shimmering and radiant, casting playful shadows around me. Driven by its brilliance, I approached, filled with hope and purpose. As I neared the light, I sensed the faces of my ancestors pressing against my heart, illuminating the path ahead. This light, I mused, is a testament to our family's journey, an ongoing legacy that lives on through each of us. At the center of this brightness stood an enormous, ethereal tree, its trunk twisted elegantly and adorned with silver and gold leaves that glittered like stars against the sky. This tree felt sacred, embodying family and stories, a sentinel safeguarding our memories. I could feel the resonance of each name whispering through me, their essence entwined with the roots of this magnificent sentinel. This is the heart of our legacy, I recognized, enlightenment washing over me. Here, the past and future harmonize, an ever-evolving story that lives through me. With a deep breath, I reached out to place my hand against the bark of the tree. It pulsed with energy, and instantly, visions engulfed me. Stories unfolding, capturing moments of laughter and solemn farewells. Memories spilled forth like shimmering rain, each drop a thread woven into the expanding tapestry of our family's saga. I will gather these stories and share them, I promised, my resolve unwavering as I felt the connection deepen. Each name will be a note in this symphony of life, reminding us that we are interconnected despite the veil of time. With newfound strength and purpose, I stood tall before the radiant tree, knowing that my journey as the storyteller had just begun. There was no fear, only a profound understanding that preserving these stories was a sacred duty. As the sun dipped beneath the horizon, casting golden rays across the leaves, I realized I was part of something much larger. I carried the love and wisdom of countless generations within me, destined to share their tales and ensure that their light continued to shine, illuminating paths ahead. Emboldened by their presence, I stepped forward into the vibrant forest, ready to forge my narrative, a guardian of memories. The shadows that once felt daunting now danced joyfully around me, lifting me into a world of belonging and connection, a melody woven throughout my being as I commenced this vital journey of remembrance and storytelling. As I stepped away from the ethereal tree, its magnetic presence still woven into my very essence, the atmosphere shifted. Although I had been uplifted by tales of joy and resilience, the shadows lingered like uninvited guests, remnants of suffering, loss, and unexecuted narratives that haunted the corners of my mind. The very fabric of my family history was interlaced with not only the light, but also the heavy strands of sorrow, and the breeze seemed to whisper my name, urging me to confront those shadows. What else lies hidden? I pondered, clutching my heart with both apprehension and courage. Suddenly, I felt the ground beneath me vibrate, a powerful energy swirling around, stirring the leaves and twisting the air. My surroundings had transformed, the twilight deepening into a shade of indigo that painted the sky with shimmers of silver. The forest was not just a sanctuary of light, but a complex tapestry of life and unfulfilled promises craving acknowledgement. "Show me," I called softly, letting my voice echo into the depths of the woods. "I am here to listen." A hush fell over nature, the world around me holding its breath as if preparing to unveil hidden truths. The shadows began to take on forms, figures coalescing in the dim light, trembling yet determined. Faces surfaced, contoured by sorrow and longing. I recognized distant relatives, their eyes wells of untold stories. "Why do you seek us?" asked a voice that resounded with grief, echoing from a man whose posture slumped under the weight of loss. Papa George, my great-grandfather, whose tales were spoken of in legends, but whose pain was scarcely mentioned. "I seek to honor all stories, both joyous and painful," I replied, stepping closer, each word propelled by a fierce conviction. "You deserve to be heard. We share destinies. Let me carry your truths." "A torchbearer?" he whispered, the shadows rippling around him, seeking solace in my understanding. "You are one willing to navigate the dark?" "Yes, I am ready to carry your burdens," I vowed, emotion churning in my chest. "Whatever you need to share, I will listen." With a powerful resonance, the air thickened as more spirits emerged, their forms shifting like smoke through the twilight. They began to unfold their stories, a chorus of voices now stirring within me, resonating with the collective composition of grief and longing. "I still hear the echoes of our homestead lost to time," murmured a woman, her face shimmering with nostalgia, revealing a heart deeply attached to a place now faded into memory. I mourned my father's departure, far from home, living amidst foreign lands and memories of stolen traditions. They whisper of the love I left behind. Another voice, younger, almost fragile. "I was the eldest daughter, forgotten in the shadow of my brothers, my dreams buried under their triumphs." The sorrow in her tone struck a deep chord. I spent my days wishing to be seen, waiting longingly for acknowledgement. I have waited until now. Through their pain, I could feel the weight of unrealized potential weaving a thread of connection between generations. These stories were unduly suffocated, yet they still carried lessons. Wisdom enshrined in suffering that needed illumination. "Your voices are strong, and your existence is important. Do not think otherwise," I encouraged, feeling the gravity of their heartaches echoing within me. "Tell me your stories, and allow me to share them. Let the world know your truths." As I opened my heart for them to share, something remarkable occurred. The shadows began to shimmer with light, transitioning from outlines of grief into vibrant hues. My awareness shifted, and I could hear the cadence of their narratives more eloquently than before. A collective spirit, yearning to have their story told, unleashed sorrow mixed with resilience that left me breathless. "I yearned for love that was seldom given," lamented another voice softly, reaching out with delicate fingers. I stood by helplessly as the storms of life fell upon us. Hopelessness became my companion. In those moments, I felt my own burdens reflected back at me, sins of worrying and self-doubt merging with their cries. I was not merely a passive observer. I was woven into this tapestry, the threads of my struggles intertwined with theirs. I understood then that understanding grief is part of healing, not just for them, but for me as well. "I hear you," I breathed, emotions clawing at my throat. "The conflict of being forgotten haunts us all. Release your pain to me, and I promise to share your truths with those who still walk the earth. Your grief does not belong to shadows anymore. It belongs to the light." As I uttered those words, the figures formed lines of brilliance, weaving themselves into a radiant fabric. Stories transformed into luminous energy, sparkling like stardust. I felt the heaviness of grief morph into glimmers of hope, illuminating shadows as burdens were relinquished. In a moment of purity, the ancestral spirits exchanged glances, and I felt a sense of gratitude wash over me, resonating like a melody in harmony. They began to whisper secrets of resilience, how to transform pain into purpose, and threads of longing into a symphony of collective humanity. "Thank you for listening," they murmured, voices intertwined like silken threads, their stories lifted high into the night sky. "In your acknowledgement, we find healing. You are a bridge we have long awaited." With that, the spirits shimmered like silvery mist, lifting into the branches of the tree overhead as they intertwined with the leaves. I stood in awe, realizing that what had once been forgotten was now set free, liberated from the constraints of time. "I promise," I whispered, watching as they ascended, their forms twinkling in the gentle glow of the moon. "Your stories will be shared. I will ensure they are known." In the wake of their departure, the moon dipped behind a blanket of clouds, leaving a tender darkness surrounding me. Yet within me, there was a light, a fire ignited by our shared experience. With each step I took away from that sacred space, every ache and sorrow danced through my being, merging with the rhythm of my own life. The understanding that my journey as a storyteller had roots deep in the past thrummed beneath my skin. I was not alone. I walked alongside those who had walked before me. As I re-entered the world beyond the forest, the weight of their stories lingered in my heart like an unquenchable flame, guiding me toward a greater understanding of my own existence. I was a vessel of connections, past, present, and future, where each encounter could kindle a legacy, igniting the flame of remembrance wherever I went. In every face I passed and every moment I encountered, I would embody the lessons learned and the histories unveiled. I was set on a path to illuminate the dark corners of my family's past, sharing with the world the treasure trove of wisdom that had finally surfaced from the depths of shadows. It was my destiny, my privilege, to be the bearer of their stories. And with that realization, the stars above twinkled at me in silent acknowledgement, embracing me as the custodian of memory and light. The journey back through the forest felt different now, as though the air itself had transformed with me. I walked with a renewed sense of purpose, each footstep echoing the ancient wisdom of those who had entrusted their stories to me. The stars overhead cleaved through the darkness, illuminating my path like silent guardians, guiding my way home. As I stepped beyond the fringe of trees, the familiar sights of my neighborhood emerged from the shadows, the comforting sounds of distant laughter, the smells of home-cooked meals wafting through open windows. But everything felt charged with new meaning, The mundane had morphed into the sacred, a reminder that every interaction held the weight of shared history and the potential for stories yet to be written. I paused on my front porch, the wood cool beneath my bare feet, and reflected on the profound connection I felt to my ancestors. The stories I had listened to echoed in my mind, swirling with my own experiences, begging to be documented and shared. I sensed that I had been chosen as the vessel for these legacies, not merely a passive listener, but an active participant in the continuum of life. Every story matters, I whispered to myself, a mantra forming as I wiped away stray tears that had gathered during my journey. Every heart deserves to be heard. I will not let their pain be buried in silence anymore. With determination surging through me, I moved inside, the warmth of the home wrapping around me like a familiar embrace. I headed straight for my journal, filled with pages of scattered thoughts and half-finished tales. Now, it was time to weave them together, a labor of love where each name and story would form a tapestry that I would carry within me forever. As I opened the journal, I felt a sense of urgency kick in. I began to write feverishly, each word flowing effortlessly from my pen, drawing from my heart. In the beginning, there was fear, I started, recalling the worries that burdened my family. And yet, with every act of kindness, a flicker of hope ignited. I paused briefly, allowing my thoughts to settle. I included stories of the unyielding strength of my grandmother, who faced life's challenges head-on, her laughter echoing through the halls of my childhood home. I wrote of my grandfather, a silent pillar of wisdom, whose memories had always been tucked away in the shadowed corners, waiting for someone to bring them forth. Then came the stories of those who had lived before, the bitterness of regret and sorrow transformed into lessons of resilience and courage. I poured the ancestral voices into the pages, honoring each tale as it emerged. With each stroke of the pen, I visualized those spirits smiling, proud of their legacies finally being acknowledged. As the hours passed and the evening unfolded, the wind rattled the trees outside, serene yet alive. Nature was my audience, and I could feel the support of the spirits behind me, encouraging me to keep going, to dig deeper. The connection grew stronger as I lost myself in the flow of writing, becoming a conduit for the lives and stories that yearned to be shared. Every moment, no matter how fleeting, is part of a larger story, I wrote, my heart swelling with the realization. It is in the smallest of details that the richness of life unfolds. The laughter shared over a meal, the sorrow of loss, the joy of reconciliation. These are the moments that resonate through time. With renewed vigor, my words danced across the pages, spinning tales of kindness exchanged between neighbors, borrowed wisdom from elders, and the network of love that connected generations. I chronicled the struggles and triumphs observed in my community, revealing that the world outside my window housed rich narratives from every soul. Suddenly, a thought surfaced that sent a thrill through me. What if, I pondered aloud, I could create a space for stories to be shared, a gathering where everyone could contribute their own legacies? The realization sparked a vision of interconnection, a place where people could come together to celebrate their shared humanity. Story circles, I began to outline, mapping the logistics in the margins of my pages, where each person can share their stories and voices will mingle like threads of fabric. It will be a sacred space for healing, laughter, and learning. And with that, I felt a new chapter unfurling in front of me. A call to action that transcended just my own writing. It was about bringing the community together, fostering connections through the shared act of storytelling. As the night deepened around me, I understood that I had stepped into an entirely new role. I was not just a storyteller, but a facilitator of stories. I envisioned the faces of my family, friends, and even strangers who could benefit from this collective tapestry that intertwined us all. Yes, I breathed, feeling the thrum of excitement rush through my veins. I will create a community where our stories flourish, where silence is broken, and where legacies are cherished. With a sense of purpose encompassing my being, I closed my journal, knowing that I would bring this idea to life. A renewed fire sparkled within me, illuminating not only my path, but the roads less traveled by others. Tomorrow, I would reach out, share my vision, and invite others to join me. I was ready to turn my own healing journey into a celebration of collective narratives, a gathering of souls connected by the threads of their own stories. As I nestled into bed that night, fatigue washed over me, but beneath that exhaustion was a deep-seated satisfaction. I slipped into sleep with the certainty that tomorrow would not just be a new day. It would be the beginning of something extraordinary, a space where we would no longer just remember, but celebrate our history together, one story at a time. The dawn broke bright and clear, casting warm rays of sunlight across my room, illuminating the pages of my journal strewn with ideas and inspiration. The energy I had harnessed from the spirits in the forest felt vibrant within me, spurring me to rise and act. Today was a day of liberation, not just for my own voice, but for the voices of those yearning to be heard. After breakfast, I pulled out my phone and began to type up a message to share my vision. "Join me," I wrote, my fingers flying across the screen, "in a gathering of story circles. Let us come together to share our histories, our pain, our joy, and celebrate our collective journey. Each of our narratives weaves a thread in a beautiful tapestry. Let's create this together." With a sense of trepidation and exhilaration, I hit send and felt an immediate sense of relief wash over me. Soon after, the replies began to trickle in, a friend expressing excitement, another relative wanting to contribute, and even a neighbor who was intrigued by the concept. As the day unfolded, I found myself busily preparing for our first gathering. I booked a community room at the local library, a warm and inviting space that felt perfect for storytelling. I gathered blankets, cushions, and snacks that would invite comfort and foster an atmosphere of trust. By the time the sun began to set that evening, I had transformed the room into a welcoming haven. Soft lighting, friendly seating arrangements, and a small table filled with refreshments created a cozy sanctuary for all who would come. I was both nervous and eager, anxious to see how this idea would come to life. As the clock ticked closer to the start time, a whirl of emotions surged within me, anticipation tinged with apprehension. Would anyone show up? Would people feel brave enough to share their stories? But as faces began to fill the room, friends, family, and even strangers, I felt my heart swell. "Thank you all for being here," I began, my voice shaky but firm. "This is a space for us to connect through our stories. No matter how light or heavy they may be, they are all valuable, and together, we can find strength in our shared experiences. Let's make this a welcoming circle of trust." With that, I passed around a small talking stick I had found, a beautifully polished piece of wood carved by local artisans. Whoever holds the stick has the floor. Each of us will have a turn to share as we feel comfortable. One by one, stories began to emerge. An elderly woman spoke of her childhood in a small town, recounting tales of friendship and warmth amidst the backdrop of challenges. A young man shared his journey of self-discovery, detailing his struggles with identity and acceptance. A single mother articulated her fears and triumphs of raising her daughter alone while weaving humor into her tale. The atmosphere shifted as laughter and tears flowed freely. Each person sat with rapt attention, offering their support, absorbing the emotions of others as we ventured deeper into each narrative. It felt as if the circle was breathing together, a living thing composed of shared vulnerabilities and triumphs. When it was my turn to share, I felt the weight of my ancestors' stories upon my shoulders, urging me to speak. I talked about the visit to the forest, how I was chosen as a bridge between the forgotten and the contemporary, drawing strength from generations past. As I spoke, I realized I was not just sharing my journey. I was handing the reins to my ancestors who had helped me gather these stories. We are all connected, I emphasized, the words flowing from me with authority and passion. Each of us carries the weight and wisdom of those who came before, intertwined within our narratives. We owe it to them and to ourselves to ensure their stories are shared and remembered. As the circle continued, I watched the magic unfold. People felt emboldened to shed their layers of armor. The talking stick passed around until every voice had been amplified. The room pulsed with emotion. It was electric with authenticity and connection. By the time our time together came to an end, we had forged bonds deeper than I had anticipated. As we neared the conclusion of our gathering, I invited everyone to jot down their stories before leaving, whether written or through voice recordings. Let's immortalize these moments, I suggested. Even if you choose not to speak today, your story has a place in our hearts. Share it in whatever way feels right to you. The gathering wrapped with soft murmurs, connections solidified, and hearts united in revelation. The people who had walked into the room as acquaintances departed as friends, wrapped in an embrace of shared history and mutual understanding. As I tidied the room after they left, I basked in the warmth of what had just transpired. This was the beginning of something powerful, a movement stitched together by stories. The gathering I had envisioned was real, alive with vibrancy and emotion, guided by the spirits of my ancestors and the people who shared this evening with me. I knew I was anchored to something larger than myself, and it was only the beginning. In a world where stories often fade into silence, we had forged a path of connection, one story at a time. It was a commitment that resonated through my bones, fueling me to continue this work, relentlessly sharing the narratives of every soul willing to join the circle. And as I stepped outside, the moon shone brightly above, bathing my path in silver light and reminding me of the beauty in every story yet to be told.